Word from
right
our
after
sponsor.
our sponsored message. Raycon earbuds.
James, it feels like me.
Have you ever
rubber, but you
been
could be feeling pretty
nagged at and wanted to drown out all the noise with just some beautiful tunes? Well, now you can with
Have you ever had a
Raycon
pair of
earbuds.
the other guy's headphones, and you thought these
With
just
the
aren't as
Raid
good.
Shadow
They don't
earbuds.
feel nice. They hurt my ears, and well, they're just not stylish. Let me tell you, these garbo. But my friend, I've got something new to put you onto.
But
Raycon.
wait, there's more. Have you ever been wearing headphones and haven't realized that it's been literally balding you? Just talk to our close associate, Trainwrecks. He can tell you all about it. Well, now you don't have to worry anymore, because with Raycon earbuds, there is no headband. All you have to do is slip it in your ear and boom. You can listen to Kenny G's smooth jazz all day. Beautiful.
Wow. Thank you, Raycon.
And your hairline will thank you for it. Welcome to the podcast where we talk about anything, everything that comes out of the crapshoot. I'm your host, JD. This is my co-host,
Sponsored by Raycon.
James. I'm pretty sure you made that joke before. I call
Have
him
I?
James. Other people call him Jimmy. It just works like that.
It's weird.
A lot of things have happened this week, James.
We've been sponsored by Raycon
A
this
lot
week,
of things
JD.
have happened this week. We have not been sponsored by Raycons.
Sponsored by Raycon, Shadow Legends.
We've been sponsored by Con Ray.
Sponsored.
We've been sponsored by Con Ray, the earbud
That's how we get away
extrum
with it.
extraordinaire.
That's how we get away with it. We say sponsored, so we never officially say sponsored.
They'd be like, but you said you were sponsored by them. No. I said
I said I
Spencered.
was sponsored.
I was Spencered, like that dude
Listen.
from iCarly.
What?
Have you seen that Six Spencered meme? Where he's got the fire extinguisher and he's like, you just raise the nozzle and then you press it and then it's a flamethrower.
Yeah, because for some reason the writers were like, you know what? In the show that's not in any sort of way magical or superhero-like, what if a man could just make things burst into fire at any given point of time?
Okay, hear me out. So, Mothman.
You know what? Jerry Trainer would make a good Mothman.
I wouldn't doubt it, actually.
Character actor
I
Jerry
can't-
Trainer, aka
character
Spencer
actor
from iCarly.
Jerry Trainer, aka Mothman. I would love to see it. But let's get dangerous, James.
Hey. Oh no.
Sorry, what's going on?
There are two cats in my room and one of them's attacking the other one.
Oh, I should
Continue, I
mention
can
this,
hear you.
James. When I
Continue.
when I head over, I'm allergic to cats. So you'll probably just not. I would prefer it if they weren't in the same room. But if they are, it's fine. I'll probably just keep my mask on and we'll probably be all good. Like I only have like my throat will swell up and I'll be dying. But like it's, you know what? I don't have long for this world anyway, so it's whatever. I only got another like what, 60 years on my belt, maybe if I'm pushing it.
And you'll
I
have
mean,
60 more, sponsored by
Don't you know
Raycon
that-
Shadow
don't
Legends.
you know that Sigma male's lifespan is 60 years?
Oh
give
man,
or
I love
take?
Shrigma. Shrigma dick.
My grandfather died. Yes, a grandfather that I haven't seen in 10 plus years, and from what I've heard, is not a very cool dude. Has passed away 2 days ago, actually.
And use that descriptor.
He was in Colorado, and he was 90 years old.
Old people in Colorado.
He was my father's father, and I'm going to tell you
that
this,
explains
James.
it.
We're time to get a little dangerous because we're dipping into my side of the
Dangerous?
family. We're dipping into my side of the family that's a little sus, as sussy bakas, as the kids would say.
Of course you said it.
Well, what isn't funny is the things that my grandfather has done, supposedly. I've actually seen my grandfather a couple times,
Hey,
but I don't really remember what he looks like.
how dangerous are we about to get here?
We're about to get really dangerous. But
you can't
I-
just say
but
what's not
we're
funny
about to
is
get-
what my grandfather has done. and
well,
then
it's
just
not like
spin
illegal.
it.
I don't think he's done anything illegal, so I don't think. But
I mean,
it's
he just
it's
killed
not
20
really
people.
personal
I
to
mean,
me.
it's not like,
It's not really personal to me. He's never done like anything to me, but he has done things to my father, who is blood related to him. So apparently, my grandfather being the amazing person that he is, abandoned my father twice during his childhood. Once when he was 6 years old. Yeah, so I guess he just basically just took everything from the family and dipped. So like took all the money, all the possessions, and just bounced when my father was 6 years old. And I think, I don't remember, he didn't tell me what age he was when he got abandoned again, because I think he came back a few years later.
That's pretty sus.
He came back a few years later, and then he dipped again. So, so yeah. And you know, I was always wondering when I was a kid, why my father, my grandfather, I've never seen them like together at the same time in the same room. That's probably why. Because my father hates my grandfather. Now, my grandfather's never done anything to me, but I've heard that he's...
But I heard he abandoned me.
I heard that he has a horrible gambling addiction.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And this is that side of the family, James. And I'm pretty sure...
That explains why you're such a horrible gambling addict.
No, what? When did you find out?
When you told me you play gacha games.
But did I tell you I've spent no money in those games?
You can tell me things, but your bank account says otherwise.
How do you know what? Wait, was that $3,000 deposit on a boat yours? Did you do that? But yeah, so this side of the family, I think I've talked about one side of my family just being like horrible people, and we've just completely cut ties with them all, right?
You've mentioned that. You never went into why, but now I know why.
Yes, because they're all like addicted, horrible people.
They're all gambling addicts.
And that's my grandfather's side of the family. On my father's side, apparently I have another aunt. I have two aunts that I know of. So my father has two sisters that I know of, but apparently there's a third one, and the third one, none of my family really talks to, because I'm pretty sure she's addicted to like crack or something. She's like a crack or heroin addict, either or, and I'm pretty sure she's also a gambling addict too. And she's the one that's closest to my grandfather. I also haven't seen her in 15 plus years. So yeah, I don't remember what they look like. But yes.
Oh no, that's actually really sad.
It would be sadder, but I don't really find it too personal. So
it'd be sadder, but
it's just a funny story to tell at parties and on podcasts. To be like, hey, you know, I might seem like a pretty upstanding guy, but did you know?
I know I seem like an upstanding citizen, but go fuck yourself. I
sound like an upstanding citizen, but I have a tendency to be a crack addict. So yeah, and I feel kind of bad for my
crack.
I feel kind of bad for my one of my aunts, because my aunt is super religious. I told you about this, right? Like crazily religious. And I think she's genuinely a really nice person. Too nice.
Except for when she's religious.
Except for when she cheated.
Thinks she's nice.
Except for when she cheated on her husband. But that's a different matter. That's a different matter.
Well, I say...
Well, my family, James, is...
I say you hit her with
the embodiment
God,
of Jesus Christ himself, split up into multiple people. So
when God cheated on Jesus.
And how she tried to rationalize it to me when I was like 13 years old.
Rationalize it to you?
Yes.
You are not the person that needs to be rationalized to.
Because I was such a nice 13-year-old, I listened to her. And I nodded, and I was like, oh, yeah.
I was going to say, you just nodded, and you're like, what?
And in my mind, I was just like, there is no Warren Bossing say.
In my mind, I was like, what?
No, but I think she's a pretty okay person, outside of that fact.
Your grandma was like,
she's super religious.
Now I know that sounds bad.
I know that sounds bad.
What?
Yeah, so, she's very easy to be taken advantage of because she's such a nice person, like generous. I guess I say generous person. So like it's like every other week that she comes or she just visits my house. She goes on like this crazy rant about how like a close friend exploited her for money or something, and I'm pretty sure she also has a gambling addiction. You see where I'm going with this, Jane? Like how all your family is alcoholics, mine is just gambling addicts. I play gotcha
Hell yeah.
games. You're starting to drink a little bit of beer here and there, but who knows when it'll
There
pick
is
up.
still an unopened beer can on my desk.
You better crack me open a cold one when I head over there. Because maybe I won't have a drinking addiction.
JD will be of legal age when we film the shower hour for legal reasons.
What's gonna take a whole year?
No, JD, shut the fuck up. They won't. They will think that you weren't. I mean, that you were of age, but
I am of age.
Weren't.
I'm a full-grown adult.
JD, you're
and
12.
in certain states, and in certain countries, I am of legal drinking age.
Me when cops find me crashed my car while blackout drunk. Well, Your Honor, in some countries, I'm
Your Honor,
of legal age.
Well, Your Honor, you're kind of a sussy bite. Could you imagine how much your sentence could get extended because you say that to a judge? That'd be so funny. But anyway, my aunt's like a gambling addict, and she loses a ton of money to gambling all the time.
Hey, are you gonna tell me about each member of your family, and at the end of it, you're
no,
gonna
it's just this one.
Bad of a reveal of like,
it's just this one.
And they're a gambling addict.
There aren't many instances in your life when a grandfather dies, and
right.
This is one of those times, and it's weird to think because I've already had like grandparents die. I think my mother's mother, I went to her funeral, but I don't quite remember because I was so young. I was like a toddler when I went to that funeral, and it was in China, so that was
went to China.
Yes, we used to go to China every like summer to hang out with my relatives over there.
Whoa.
And I'm glad to say they aren't gambling addicts or drinking addicts or terrible people that I know of. They're very nice people, very hardworking, oppressed citizens, and it's just I'm joking.
Winnie the Pooh's keeping them down.
Don't take out my social credit. I need to keep it. Anyway, though, yeah. So, like, let me tell you what's happened, right?
Right.
So, like, a few weeks ago, like somewhere near the end of December, I start getting like these paragraph texts from my aunt, and they resemble when you send me paragraphs of text on Discord talking about Riverdale or complaining about Riverdale. They resemble that, and it was just like it was just religious talk, pretty much. Like, please pray for your grandfather or whatever. Pray for your grandfather. Son, Ghost, Holy Spirit. This is his kingdom come. Please, God. That she literally texted me that. She texted me Kingdom Come in one of them. And I was like, huh.
She must be a big fan of the comic.
Must be a big religious fan. I don't know. Must be a big fan of God. I don't know.
Damn, this bitch religious.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, what happened? And she's like, your grandfather's not a good spot. And she sent me a picture of him naked. And it didn't look very good.
You could say she sent me a picture of him stuck under a table.
No. So I think what he had I was trying to decipher the religious ramblings of her text to figure out what my grandfather was going down with. Honestly, it is pretty much just old age, right? Because he's 90, so that's already pretty old. Yeah. But I think he also had I think he had dementia as well. And I think what happened was the dementia made it so he forgot. No, so that his body, he's tricking like his own body to thinking that he's not hungry or thirsty. So he hasn't ate anything in a while, and he hasn't drank anything in a while. So he looked like a skeleton when she sent me that picture. It was crazy. I was like, damn, that looks awful. You know, I know he's a bad dude, but man, that kind of sucks. And she wanted us to fly out to Colorado to meet him, and my father was like, hell no. I'm not meeting that son of a bitch. So I stayed. So then my mother went, and she went with my sister, but I stayed behind with my father. So I also had a DMV appointment, which was very badly timed. Because I want to make this clear. I scheduled my DMV appointment like 2 months ago before I got those texts that my grandfather was dying. So I was like,
and I had a DMV appointment.
I could miss this DMV appointment and go see this grandfather that my entire family hates, but I don't know. Spend like $1,000 to fly over there. Also, it's like snowing in Colorado or something. Anyway, I'm not making excuses, James. Shut up.
No, I didn't say you were.
So
cargo room.
Yeah, I think he passed away pretty close to when Betty White died. Yeah, weird coincidence. But yeah, I'm not sure if we were gonna go to his funeral, because I think there was like I heard my parents arguing this morning about some stuff, but yeah. So that's what happened during my weekend, James. How was yours?
I worked today in the morning.
How'd that go?
What just a mundane reveal comparatively. So yesterday we had to do inventory for our science shop and everything at work, and we put it off till the end of the day, and then as I'm in the middle of like doing my count, my brother, because he works in the shop with me, he's like, okay, we're going, and I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, the boss just left, we're going. It's like, but we got to finish this, and he's just, nah, we're going. And so he kicks me out. I didn't even get to finish
my... There's like a certain theme with your coworkers and just not finishing work, huh?
Yeah, and then there's me, the only one.
Me, Jimmy, poor Jimmy.
Poor Jimmy Dango over here.
Oh, quick fact though. Did you know that James is like the #1 most common name for dudes in the US?
I thought you were gonna say like in China or something. I was gonna be like, what the fuck?
Why would James be the most common name in China?
I don't know, but I thought you were gonna hit me with like a real like big swing, like just out of
left
nowhere.
Field.
Yeah,
come out of left field.
Just like you're gonna see this one coming, and they've got a gambling addiction.
Gambling addiction. She was a great op. She kind of cheated. just left and right, like hits, man. What if I told you I was like secretly a drug dealer?
I believe you.
Really? You would believe that I would be a drug dealer.
You were like, yeah, gambling addiction, crack addiction, cheating addiction, drug dealer. Listen, it's like, whoa.
I play gacha games, but I'm not addicted. Okay, I'm not addicted. I can stop whenever I want. It's easy.
Maybe are you on your phone right now?
Maybe.
I can't see you, but I can see you.
I have it running on this side there, but I'm not really paying attention to it.
I have it running as if there's something else playing.
Yeah, well, Epic Zone is just it's an idle game, where you kind of just sit around and just let it play on its own.
You got something playing in the corner of your eye that you're occasionally
I gotta grind for it, I gotta grind.
On it.
I'm freaking rising and grinding,
I'm on that grind, gamer.
I'm on that grind.
Gamer,
how'd your coworker? So you just left work unfinished?
Well, I don't have keys, so I have like no way to open and close the shop essentially.
Why not? So, aren't you like the top dog there?
No.
Top of the food chain, James?
No.
That's what they called you in high school.
That was for a different reason.
It's a different food chain.
It's a different food chain for different things. Quick side story. I got the nickname Bunny in like our sophomore year.
Because
and I didn't know why.
Agile, right?
No.
Agile with those hops.
I learned it like a week later why, but for some reason in my biology class, this girl just comes up to me and she's like, I'm going to start calling you Bunny. And I'm like, why? And she's like, I don't know. You're just like a bunny. And I'm like, I don't know you.
You're just like a bunny, dude. Like
I don't know
middle-aged bunny. This middle-aged redneck bunny. It's got uneven beard, hair, a balding spot, and
right there. No, but like I don't know this person. They just like I think I've talked to them like a couple times.
It's just because you're charm, man. You just attract all the crazy women everywhere.
It's actually not untrue. I do weirdly.
I was joking about that, but
for good reason.
Well, it's because you look like your coworkers. I'm guessing so.
Yeah, just I have hair.
Yeah, there you go.
It's the one thing I got over them. I have hair.
I have hair. There you go. That's the extra charm you needed.
Genuinely, they're all like a bunch of balding guys with like weird beards.
Come on, dude. Aren't they like? Yeah, they're all like 60 or something, right?
Yeah.
They're like 60. I thought you would be I thought you'd be Todd Dog because you're like 20 years older than them, but whatever.
20 years older and less agile.
So some girl came up to you, just called you Bunny.
Yeah, she called me Bunny, and I didn't know why. And then like a guy in that class that I do talk to, Like we were standing in a group together and everything during lunch, and he's just like, "Hey, what's up, chubby bunny?" And I'm like, "Oh,
Aha.
ah, ah, I have depression."
Oh.
Yeah, and so that's the top of the food chain I was on.
Oh, cool.
So back to
You
the
were
story.
you were at the top of the food chain. The food chain was flipped upside down. You just disappeared. Perfect.
It was only my head visible. Just
No, it was just you were completely gone. Like when you turn around, you're just completely gone. Yeah, that's pretty funny though. Yeah, I don't really have that many interactions with women. I scare them, you know. I'm threatening. They see my huge hulking figure and they just scream and run. They scream and run.
I mean, you were the oh.
I did talk to some. Yes. Very nice women.
I accidentally muted my mic.
Oh.
I knocked my water bottle over and
very
it fell
unlike you,
directly
James. I do not attract the attention of those crazy women, so I'm good.
Well, you know, that's just not my charm.
It's not my charm. I attract men.
If only.
With my muscles, because they come up to me, they're like, "What's your workout routine?"
And I just look at it like, what?
I look at them and I'm like,
I'm in the middle of eating my Philly cheesesteak.
Drugs.
What?
Hard drugs is what I say to them.
Okay, wait. That's actually another thing. Every time I go to a food place called Pops, not the Pops in Riverdale.
Pops?
Pops. It's a cheesesteak place, and I get food. I am always approached by drug dealers. Every time
because you look like a druggie, dude.
Approach me.
You look like a druggie.
I'm with other people when I go, but
why do you think I'm still your
me.
friend, James? Because I want to sell you drugs. You still haven't taken my deal from off stream when we. I'm already selling to the rest of your family, save for your father. Your father's a really strict man. I don't think I can get through to him, but.
Father's a really strict man. He wants only at a certain price.
I can't afford his price. He's a very expensive person.
Yeah, every time I go to eat food there, like a guy just like rides up to me on a bike and he's like, "Hey man, you want some weed?" I'm like, "I don't smoke," and he's like, "Really?" It's not a joke. Like, my brother can like that's a real
it
interaction.
Might sound crazy, but once if anyone is ever watching this and they see the shower hour, they'll know. They'll know exactly what he's talking about.
When I had gotten into my car accident, that like stopped me from doing the unlucky ones. When
I got into my car accident, the needle flew through the window and into my arm and gave me a dose of heroin. I was like, damn.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, it really mellowed me out. But
yeah.
No, when I got in the accident, apparently one of the kids from the car had ran into the gas station, which is like just down the street, and I know the owner. And the guy was like, "Oh, we just got into a car crash.
Holy shit, the car's been completely totaled."
I think the guy that's driving that car, he's like high or drunk or something. Like the owner, Mickey, he like looks out the window and he sees it's me, and he's like, "What?" I've literally been going to that place since I was like 7 or something.
Yeah.
So like
you knew that guy since you were like that young?
Yeah, because he's always been the owner of that place, even when they changed to the new gas station.
Oh, I see. So he looks at you and he's like, "You fucker, you ran into my gas station."
You ran into my gas station for one of my own. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you dead.
I'm gonna die today.
I like how you were far away from the microphone, as if you were like approaching me.
I just realized my phone was like running out of power, so I just plugged it in real quick.
You're gonna die today.
It's time to die.
Listen, shithead, I'm gonna get you.
You right now.
You're dead, man. You hear me? You're a fucking dead man. But no, yeah. But at work and everything, I came in, and I had to finish the count on my side, and it took a bit, but I got it done. And then my boss is like, "Okay, now make sure your brother's count is correct too."
You just like give him the freaking stare.
There are two sides of the shop that we both work on. There's two rollers.
Yeah.
He has the roller on one side, I have the roller on the other side. I have the wall of signs organized, I put that in quotes, organized by their sizes. He has the jobs that these signs go to put in some bins on his side. And his are much easier to count. The problem is, he had started his count. I don't know if he was done, if he had left off or not. And when I started counting, I was finding that he had counted some signs, but not all the signs. And it wasn't like a selective one. It was like random of what would and not be count. And then the numbers were off for some things. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
He's just, you wouldn't understand.
I'm looking at this and I'm just like, so he's counted these 4 already? Yeah. But he hasn't counted the one that's in between this and behind it? No. What?
Well, you just don't get his genius, James. It's like a new method of counting signs, but...
No, I get he's lazy.
Okay. Well, I guess that's one explanation.
Oh, hold on.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
No, it genuinely...
This guy's got a point.
He has less signs on his side. I have way more signs. I literally have to count over 1,000 signs before I can get to everything else. Like,
damn,
the
I can't even
D3s,
count to 1,000.
the street names are in total way over 1,000, and it's like I have to count those individually to make sure they're all there before I can do every other sign.
Okay.
And I'm like just sitting there, and I'm like, he's like, you've only done 6 spins, and I'm like, I had to count over 1,000 signs.
You've only done 6 spins, and it's like 10,000 signs in the...
Like literally just standing there holding the D3s and the tape measure, just like, as he was like, you've only done 6 spins, and I'm like, you haven't even started.
How many have you done, man?
You mortal, you dare speak to me, I'll kill you.
James, you're working too hard, man. You probably could just slack off. What are they gonna do? Fire you? Probably. Or maybe not.
What are they gonna do?
You said
Yell
they
at me
need the
because I'm not
manpower,
working?
right? Well, they need someone to yell at.
Right. I'm literally the only one that ever is working, and they're fucking my brother and like my coworkers are like, James, you're never working. You don't do anything. And I'm like, I do all of your jobs.
Your life is just a perpetual Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
Literally. So my brother and Blake, fuck it, I'm calling him by his real name, Blake. They went to lunch.
Nobody's gonna know who he is.
They were gone for like an hour. And I was tallying up the totals, I was cutting the sheeting and stuff, and I decided when they got back, I was going to go to lunch. That way there would be somebody in the shop working. So Blake was supposed to be helping me cut the sheeting, but he left to go have lunch with my brother. So, I'm there waiting and everything as I'm like tallying up the totals. I'm like, here's a list of all the anti-graffiti. You don't need to know the color of the sign or anything. You just need to know it's anti-graffiti and it's this size, and here is the exact amount of each size you need to cut. I had gotten started on the list. It's all laid out. I'd gotten started on a list. I put it in one concise pile, and they get back. I do a few more signs before I leave, and I put the literal fucking paper. It's an orange, bright highlighter orange paper in front of him.
I don't notice those either. Just to defend him before this happens.
Lunch. And I go in and I grab my food. And do I go somewhere to eat it? No, I don't do what they did. I don't spend an hour. I come back to the shop to eat.
Should do what they did. Just join. Be a sheep, James. You're standing out too much.
And when I come back to the shop, JD, there is Blake standing. Oh, the same exact spot. And is that the same roll of anti-graffiti that only had a few feet left in it that we could cut from? He hasn't cut any anti. Oh. What's he doing on his phone? Oh, he's doing the same thing he was doing on his phone all day, all morning.
Looking at women. I knew it. I knew it before you said it. Because that's what I do all the time, James. Like, literally right now, I'm staring at anime women.
How I am slowly losing my mind with every waking second. I
can hear like the triggering sound effect, the one that like starts like building up in your ears, and like all the other sounds are like blacking out and it's ringing is coming in. It's like a spider sense.
You hear that too?
No, I don't actually. I rarely ever get that.
I actually woke up this morning and I had that like going off, and I'm like, what's happening? I like literally, I woke. It was just like, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't even do anything last night. I went to sleep at a normal hour.
Oh, you wake up like, and then you move your sheets over, like 3 packs of beer cans fall over. Oh, what's that ringing in my head?
Yeah, I pull on my sheets to flip over, and it's just
You look down, your sheets are made of beer cans.
it's just the sound of a. I don't know if you can hear it, but I was
No, I
dropping
can't
a
hear
can
it.
all over my desk.
No, I
Okay,
can't
here,
hear
I'll
it.
talk while I do it. That way you can hear it and everything. As it slides off into the bag behind my computer.
Cool.
But yeah, you know, like, I don't know what to do. I literally
Did you not
hadn't
like
cut
ask
anything,
Blake to do
and
it before, or you just left the paper there and expected someone of his IQ to just read or something?
You know, the dude loves to brag about
To
the
use
jobs
his
he's
eyes?
done before he worked here. He was like, you know, I used to do the layouts for the Pepsi advertisements.
Dude, the guy's
and stuff.
Matt Murdock, man. He's got no eyes. Right? That's how blind people are.
I mean,
right? They
his
just have
eyes
no eyes.
are like,
His eyes, he might as well have no eyes because it's just glued to.
I literally tried drawing him the other day because I was like, I need to show you what this man looks like because he literally looks like a King of the Hill.
I'm staring
character.
at him right now.
No, you're not.
just
Trust me. Trust me. Whatever description you have,
Yeah.
if a King of the Hill character, like their specific features, how beady and small their black eyes are,
Yeah.
if that was transcribed onto a real human and they had a permanent smile,
Like if
on
they
their
had
face,
like that, you know, that software that takes
they
a
just had a
drawing
little
and makes
smile
into a
that was
real
like this
person.
all the time, and it was just staring you directly in your eyes, that would be Blake. Those little beady eyes, the very
like
weird
the
long
grin.
cylinder head, and this little smile that never goes away.
He's always smiling. Sounds like a really positive dude. Sounds like he's enjoying life.
Sounds
Unlike
like he's staring-
somebody that
Sounds
I
like
used
he's
to
staring
know.
a bit too hard at me while I try to eat my food.
Ah,
Sounds
so
like
you're,
even though if I
okay,
ask
so you
him to
come in
look
and you
away,
see him not doing the
doesn't
work, and
stop
what do
looking
you
away.
do?
I eat my food, to which he then comes over and questions me about. He's like, "Oh, you didn't want to get food with us because you wanted to have food from there. Oh, oh, oh."
Is that what he says? Or you? Sometimes I feel like you're exaggerating these conversations,
I'm
but
genuinely not.
I can actually imagine that being like someone real saying that to you. And it's
Someone
like,
real
it's like,
did say that to me.
It's like a freaking dialogue from a B movie. Just how it comes in. Oh, so you didn't want to get food with us because you wanted that kind of food. Oh.
And it's like, we got to talk about, I don't want to sit at the same table as because I've said before, we don't all three of us fit at the same small 4-person table that they have at Taco Bell. It's
Why?
not
You
built
guys
for
are
people
pretty
like
petite men
us. No,
working on petite signs.
he likes to think he is, but he's
In a
not.
petite's shop.
This is coming from somebody. He wants to think he is, but he's not. And he's like, the women want me. The women don't want you. Let me
The
tell you.
women.
Oh my god, this dude.
As
looked at
quoting
me
Aaron
and
Hansen, people
he
think that I'm a
said-
small petite boy, but in fact a large fat man.
Yes. Yeah, that's his mind. This dude said this to me as if I'm going to agree with him on his thoughts on Tinder. He said, "There are too many black women on this app."
Uh-huh.
Huh?
I wouldn't know. Don't use it.
I'm just sitting there like,
Is he
What
trying
do
to
you want me
say
to
that he
say?
doesn't like that?
what do you want me to say to that? How do you want me to respond?
Respond to I agree wholeheartedly.
Dude, I just the other day they had to go out and install these signs that we've been being told since last Thursday because we weren't supposed to come in on Friday because it was New Year's and everything. Last Thursday, we were being told on that day at the start of the day, here is a list of signs that you need to make by next Tuesday.
Okay.
They need to be made for this day
It's just like homework, you know?
because they're getting installed by the end of that day.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they have to be in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So we've spent all these days, even Friday a little bit. My brother came in and he worked on the signs a little bit, then went home. And we spent all Monday and we spent all Tuesday. And, you know, they're in the shop, they're helping us, what the fuck ever. And we're doing these signs. And then on Tuesday, the moment we finished these signs, they loaded up into their truck, their work truck, that's sitting outside, and it's been sitting outside all morning. And, oh, they don't leave. No, they walk back into work and immediately start working on the signs that me and Franklin have laid out for us. And I'm standing there because he decided to pull the sign, like he decided to pull the signs and put them across from me rather than work on them on that side of the table that they were on. And I'm just kind of sitting there staring at them because I'm trying to figure out like why they haven't left and everything. I'm like assuming like, oh, maybe they're filling up their like thing for water because they have like a compressor.
Never assume. Never assume. you
JD,
when will you learn?
I assume good intentions. I assume
and that's your problem.
Water of the compressor.
That's your heroic flaw.
I assume that there's just a reason they haven't left yet. A simple reason. And then the words come out once Franklin walks out of the back office and he sees Blake working on his signs. He looks at me, I shrug. I don't fucking know what's happening because nobody talks to me. And he says, hey, what are you doing? Aren't you guys supposed to go out and install those signs? Oh, you didn't hear? We're not installing those signs today. What? Yeah, those signs. The boss came in. He told us we aren't working on those today. We were here to help you guys finish up this job. Those were just like things we had to get done first. Everyone look at each other.
That's weird.
Hasn't it been like since Thursday? It's been like 5 days. You know, we've been being cold. Hey, here's a bunch of important signs. Make sure they're done because they gotta go in by the end of the day.
These are like, kind of top priority. Really want these in.
That's really weird. So
you're gonna be grounded by Tuesday.
And that was at like, I don't know, 9 o'clock. Those signs were finished. I'll say 8:30.
At 9?
To be honest, probably 8:30 or 9 o'clock. That those yes, in the morning those signs were finished. We get in work at like 7.
Yeah.
Sometimes 6:30, but 7 that day.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were there working straight on those signs all that time. And I'm just a little confused. Boss isn't at the shop, so we can't ask him. He's out driving. Well, we assume that they're telling the truth. Because why would they lie about something like that? Something as important as this job.
You must ask that question a lot, don't you? Why would they lie? Why would he lie? What?
Why would they do that?
Yeah, you know, that sounds great. You know, don't have to do the signs, but why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
And, you know, Blake, Frank, they go to lunch again. I go to lunch by myself because I don't like being around those two when they're together. I lose my fucking mind.
Nah, dude, you should hang out more with them. Let them influence you. Turn to the dark side.
All of a sudden, you know, they get back. Blake's sitting there on his phone. Oh, what is it? That's be 11 o'clock? No,
okay,
it's about to be
almost afternoon.
12 o'clock.
And
you know, Blake, he's telling me
sun's getting real high.
They leave at 1:30. Because they get in earlier than us and everything. And then they're about to leave, you know. Yeah, I got another hour. And Chris walks in the room, looks dead at Blake, and he said, Chris and Blake, the two workers who work together.
Yes.
Chris walks in the room, followed by a couple of our other coworkers, and he's like, "You're not gonna believe this. The boss just called. You know those signs we made this morning? We have to install them."
You're not gonna believe this.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm eating my lunch, by the way. I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, wow.
You should have just done a quirky, just like look over at Blake all comically, like,
JD.
Oh, did you hear that, my boy Blake?
Didn't I? No.
Did you?
We all look at Blake because there are several people in the shop right now who are aware that they were supposed to be out, and we're all staring at Blake. And Blake's on his phone. He's just like, "Not me. I'm leaving."
Would you look at that? The time. I'm almost off. What are you gonna do about it?
And I don't know why, but suddenly I started to talk. I couldn't stop myself.
It's never a good idea.
I was just smiling.
Did you just go on a rant?
I don't know why I was smiling, but I just started to talk, and I just, for some reason, just blurted out, "Yeah, you are going out. Those signs have been supposed to be getting in by today. That's why we told you earlier they were supposed to go in by today. We've been getting told since Thursday of last week. They were supposed to be getting in by today. So
Your crazy face.
Yeah, you are
looking
going out.
at me is what I imagine you looking at Blake like when you told him that. Like at this point, it's so baffling to you that you're not even like angry. You're just gone straight past anger into delirium, insanity.
I'm in joy. I just watched Blake get this Hail Mary throw tossed right to him. And he said, "No, I'm going home." And I just couldn't stop myself. And then, like, we're all looking at him, and he's just like, "Fuck, man." He's complaining. Apparently, he complained the whole day. Well, here's the thing, jackass. That's what you were supposed to do in the first place.
Complaining about their job? Who would ever do that, man? That's so weird. So weird, man.
And
foreign to me.
I learned our boss never told them any of that.
Huh.
He never told them to stay. He never told them they weren't supposed to install those signs at any point. The entire time, at every given second, they were supposed to leave because he walked in. Once we finished the signs, like literally right when we finished the signs and they were loaded up on the truck, they were literally getting loaded in front of him. He asked, "Oh, the signs are done?" And they were like, "Yeah, boss,
weird,
signs
man.
are done."
I don't know.
Signs are done. And he's like, great.
Why wouldn't they go out?
Not at one point did he say the words, "Stay in the shop and help finish the signs." He said, "Oh, great." Because he thought the signs were about to be installed. So our boss drives all the way to the job. And he's at the job and he's like, "Oh."
He sees the truck full of signs.
He sees no truck. He sees no work truck with our symbol on it. He sees all the old signs still on the street. Ridiculous. What is happening?
What is going on?
And so he calls him up, and for some reason, they pick up and they say, "Oh, boss, we're at Taco Bell." Now, our boss. He sees Taco Bell on the work street right there. And he's like, "Oh, they're just eating right now. Duh, that's why I don't see them."
Well, where's the truck?
But they're not at that Taco Bell. They're at the Taco Bell next to our work.
Oh.
So, I cannot tell you the joy I had the moment they left the shop, JD. I literally jumped fucking 3 feet into the air.
They actually had to do it? Oh my god. Yeah. I thought they would just get off scotch-free, honestly, from the story they've been telling me.
I think they were trying to. I think they were deliberately
What? No way, dude. They are hardworking, upholding citizens. Okay? Law-abiding citizens. There's no way they would die.
One of them is
There's got to be a good reason why they couldn't deliver.
One of my coworkers has gone into a shootout with the cops. Don't say law-abiding one more time when referring to these people.
I'm sorry. Continue.
That's not a joke. That's not a joke. That's a story for a whole nother. That's not a joke though. He's one of the nicest people I work with.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? He's a really great man.
He's a law-shooting citizen.
He's a really great person too. He's amazing. He's like one of my favorite people. But no, and they were there till 6 o'clock at night. Or maybe even longer.
Your shift has been extended, sir.
But I know
the funny thing is, if they just fucking did their job, they would be out a lot earlier.
They would be out a lot earlier. And I asked my boss, I'm like, "Hey, boss, what was going on?" And that was at 6 o'clock. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, they're still out installing those signs right now. I don't know why they didn't go out earlier." And when I explained the situation to him, he said, Oh, they're both going to get their asses fired if they keep doing this shit.
Are they?
JD.
Are they? I mean, with some slots open, don't mind if I come in, you know?
Fucking Christ, please, JD, I need someone. But I also have to say
just like
don't,
some random
because they're going to be so racist.
Yeah. It's just one day, like the door swings open, Avengers music starts playing, I step through. Hey, boys. Got any digital printers in here? No, dude, they love me. I'd be like, yo, I can hook you up with all of the Asian gamer girls that you want. I've got connections.
Only one of them is perking his ears up. But no, it's like I genuinely, when I said I jumped 3 feet into the air, I literally jumped 3 feet into the air when I
Like
learned.
heels clack as you jump.
Yes. I like literally, I was like in a moment of insanity. I jumped straight into the air, 3 feet, clicked my feet
Right
together.
in front of your boss.
Nobody around me. I was alone in the shop, like a fucking madman. I jumped straight in the air.
It's like they catch you on the security camera. Just
If only there was one. There's a reason we can't have any, because the people keep fucking with it.
What the fuck?
It's not a joke. We've literally installed security cameras in our shop several times, and our coworkers keep fucking with them because they don't like being seen on camera because they fuck with our stuff.
Hmm.
But JD, they left the shop. I jump into the air, and I was so excited with glee. I became lightheaded.
Blood rushing out of your head and into your heels as they clack.
Like, jumping up in the air, I was like laughing. I'm literally becoming delirious, and like I text my coworker, so like I text my friend, like my friend group and everything. I'm like, I'm lightheaded right now. They're all worried. They're like, what happened? What happened? I'm like,
whoa, COVID?
Yeah, they're like, oh, are you okay, James? I'm like, oh, I'm okay.
Oh, I'm better than okay.
I'm great.
I feel amazing. I know it feels good, the power, but you have to take it off, Eddie. I don't want to. I feel good. My Blake sense is tingling, if you know what I mean.
Yesterday we were switched off of the job we'd been working on. We were putting on a new one, and we had a bunch of specific signs set out and stuff. And we didn't get to it because we had to do inventory. And so we're doing inventory, and then we leave, and then I come in today, and Chris is there. I'd heard that Chris was working weekends, but I wasn't sure what Chris was doing on the weekends.
Oh, probably going after some gamer girls.
Some underage gamer girls.
Some questionable age gamer girls.
What are they walking out? Oh, are those are the specific signs that we had laid out for us to do? Is that them applied on the last sheets that we can cut of that size because we were out of aluminum until Charlene decides to fucking finally orders the aluminum that we need to literally do our work?
Wow. What a nice guy. He's already doing your work for you.
Is he in? Are those not the signs that we needed specifically for today? Today that we needed them?
Wow, what a nice guy. He decided to do your work for you. Did you thank him?
I stared in just baffled, angry, defeated silence.
I would love it if one of these days you walk into the workshop, you see something that just is just the final straw, and then you just like take off your jacket or whatever, put it on the ground, and just walk out. Just like, no words.
I think I'm already too far gone.
You're fine, James. You're cool. You're good.
It's just boiling down to insanity is the last straw.
It wasn't really supposed to be the spiraling into insanity with James episode, but
it wasn't.
I guess it is.
This week wasn't supposed to be that. It's never supposed to be that.
You were the chosen one.
It's at no point ever is any moment supposed to become a spiraling into insanity with James episode, but it just does.
Because I know you hate that. The world would be better if there weren't any spiraling into insanity moments.
Oh, James, why don't you quit? Because I need the money. It's really good money.
It's a living.
I am making good money doing actual work.
You can afford that high-end I would consider it a high-end PC. That, but I do have to talk about that real quick. Unless you're done with your... You're not done with your...
You better tell me you fucking self-sabotage me. I'll kill you. I'll fucking kill you, Dad, JD.
I would never do such a thing. Hey, James. Why would I do that?
Because you're awful, JD.
I'm awful? I'm awful.
Yes, you're awful.
A man had to work almost a 12-hour shift, maybe even more, and you're laughing.
Yeah.
I'm not your therapist, James.
I worked 5 5 hours today on a day I was supposed to have relaxation. I don't care.
5 hours clocked in for good money.
I was gonna leave, but my boss said no. He said, James, go help them make those signs. Those signs I know are wrong.
How often do you guys just make the wrong signs?
Not often, until somebody who has no clue what's going on just comes in and is like, huh, I guess we'll do this.
That's gonna be me. I'll I'll get hired at a job specifically just to fuck everything I touch up, and then I leave.
Is your name Blake?
The second I'll go in with a fake name.
A little thinning mustache.
They'll call me John. John China. John the Walk China.
Oh, hey guys.
Hey guys.
Oh, you eating food there? How
Don't worry, I'll blend
my eyes
in. I'll shave my head, and then I'll come in with a Fu Manchu.
You notice how when you look into my eyes, you see no soul?
I'll speak just enough English to get the job, and then speak
the
English words again.
Do the Uncle Roger voice.
Yeah. And I'll remind them over and over again to go watch No Last Name on Twitch. That's no underscore last underscore name underscore. Not the French person. The one that hasn't streamed in almost 3 months. That's not the end of this podcast. That was just a plug. So that was a very smooth transition, wasn't it?
Yeah, let's talk about the computer.
Yeah. So I know you wanted to we were going to do a couple of things, right? We were going to build the computer, and we were going to film a live commentary on the Fantastic Four movie.
The original.
The
first, the greatest, the unreleased.
But I'm thinking we won't have enough time in one day to do that. So maybe we'll space it out, you know?
Yeah, we could split it into multiple. I was thinking, like, this seems like a very big project that has, like, a lot of, like, gears moving in it. Like, we have to build the computer. We have to do a couple other things.
We might not even be able to film the whole PC building in one. Like, you might not finish it in one sitting. So maybe I'll like
Master Jedi.
Maybe we can just space out a bit. So whenever you have like the next time, we can go and do the Fantastic Four thing, or maybe we can go and build the PC a little bit, because I know you have some of the parts, right?
Right.
The last thing that's gonna come in is your graphics card, right?
Yeah. Is that like
and that doesn't need to be installed like right away?
Okay, I was gonna ask, like,
that's
what
probably one of the
last
things to be installed.
I also want to have like a picture of it all together and stuff.
Yeah.
Like all the pieces before I build it, I mean.
Oh yeah, I mean, and you want it to be all in one space?
Yeah.
Or do you need the pieces themselves, or just the boxes of the pieces?
I guess I could use the boxes of the pieces. I'll have to like be careful when.
But it won't be the same, because the pieces won't be in the boxes.
Be like, it's not real. It's fake. Magic's not real. It's like when they green screen Samuel Jackson in No Way Home.
Right? I mean, it's like the digital de-aging they did on Doc Ock, which was really good actually, and I thought it was great.
Then it's like the wig. Why does the wig look weird? It doesn't look like his hair, but everybody else looks okay. And it's just like, what's with the hair?
I think the hair looks fine. I love Fantastic Four, the original movie.
I love the things effects. I know you can see the actual actor's mouth inside of the animatronic
and also,
head, but
if we do the Fantastic Four thing on a different day than the actual PC building, maybe sometime earlier, we can try to get some. If we finish it early, we can try to set up some shots for the actual like set of when we're going to be building that thing.
Yeah.
You know, see if everything works before you actually try it. Because you know, James, how you feel about your coworkers just like not doing the work like they're supposed to, like they're inept. That's kind of how I feel whenever I talk to you about games.
Yeah, but JD,
nothing important. Nothing important.
I'll actually do the work.
Yes, but you'll do it in such a way that makes.
I'll do the work. I just won't really understand the work.
You'll do it in such a way where you just do it like 3 times harder than it needs to be. Like when you were ordering the parts, and I didn't know you had Prime, and I just assumed that you had Prime. Yeah, I thought you had Prime, or at least get the freaking free trial of Prime. Like when you,
my dad had Prime.
That whole like Doctor Strange conversation, like you didn't even try to appeal to the college.
Hold on, I also didn't know you could appeal to colleges though.
Yes, but
you also didn't know that.
It's even worse.
You didn't know that.
It's even worse because I'm saying that conversation was similar to the one I had with you, where you bought your parts, and I was like, okay, when are your parts gonna come in? Like 2 days, 3 days? And you're like, no, a whole month. And I was like, what? You don't have Prime?
For one part
and
only.
you were like, no, I don't have Prime. And I was like, what? You okay? Well, I guess
he can be whatever I want.
And then you're like, JD, I'm not. What do you think I am, rich? Of course I don't have Prime. And I'm like, you didn't even try did you get the free trial at least? And then you just go silent. And I'm like, you didn't even get the free trial of Prime before you bought the goddamn items?
No.
James,
then I'll forget to cancel and I'll get charged and I'll be like,
you could cancel subscription literally right after you buy it, James. There's a button that says cancel ongoing subscriptions.
Will it affect me?
Yes, because you'll be able to get your parts faster than a whole goddamn month. And you remind me a lot. You remind me a lot of my sister, because I had to help my sister out with picking her classes.
I'll have you know, today in a parking lot.
No, this is my rant. This is my rant.
I'll have you know, today in a parking lot, two
young
men walked up to me and said, "Excuse me, sir, can you give us $5 for basketball uniforms?"
It's not as infuriating.
I said, "No, you little shit."
I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, because this is not as infuriating as you to your coworkers, because honestly, it's not that serious. Oh. But I had to freaking go and help my sister today pick out her classes for college, which, by the way, the freaking enrollment period opened 2 months ago in November. That's when when you were able to pick your classes. So she waited 2 whole months until today, and I had to sit there and help her.
Ordering the parts in the first place, not
I guess it's like me. It's like me picking your parts for you.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna finally get down to this. I'm like,
yes, I'm literally sitting there, like guiding her, like step through step, what she should click on the screen. I'm like, oh my god, just read the goddamn words. You can see it right there. Just read. But like, we get through it, and guess what? She can't apply to certain classes because some prerequisites weren't met. And I was like, okay, what did you ask? You talked to your counselor, right? You talked to your counselor, and she was like, yeah, I talked to my counselor. I'm like, okay, what'd you say? And she was like, I talked to she's like getting mad at me. Or she's getting mad at the process, but she was like speaking angrily, but it wasn't directed at me. So it was like, yeah, I talked to her. I'd ask her what classes I should take, and she said biology and chemistry, and I'm like, that's it? There's no like specific classes? And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, but when you were talking to her, what exactly did you say to her? And she's like, I said exactly what I just said right now. And I'm like, and you didn't ask for specific classes? And she's like, no. Of course. I'm like, why did you do that? Well, fuck. She didn't give you like a sheet, like a credit sheet for all the classes you're supposed to take? And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay. What did she give you? Any like PDFs? And she's like, yeah, she gave me this one. And she pulls up the PDF of the credit sheet. I was about to
say, at least she can't say it was her fault, but never mind. I can see where that's
going. She pulls up the PDF of this sheet that shows all her credits. And guess what? Right smack in like the middle is like this course planner, and it says spring 2022 semester, and it lists all the 4 classes she's supposed to enroll in. And her entire like excuse for up until now, since like 2 months ago, because it's been 2 months, horribly overdue. She's like, I don't know idea what I'm supposed to enroll. I don't know what classes I'm supposed to enroll in. And right there in the middle is the classes she's supposed to enroll in. I'm like, okay, well, what's that then? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, oh, and your counselor didn't mention that at all? I find that hard to believe. And then I'm like, okay.
Oh, yeah?
See, look, now you know what the classes you're supposed to enroll. Just go and do it. Then I come back here. I hop back on my MMO. My character died because I was AFK, and some little goblin things came up, stabbed me in the nuts, and I died. Stabbed me right in my big ass, and I died. I lost a bunch of XP. I'm angry. I start sweating. I'm a little bit shaking. But I'm like, all right, it's fine. People die in MMOs. It's okay.
With genuine rage.
And I just keep playing. And then like, not even 2 minutes later, I get called back. And my mother's there too. And I hate talking to both of them because they're just both idiots. So then, they come in, and then I'm like sitting. I'm like, okay, what now? She's like, take a look at this. And then 2 of the classes she's supposed to enroll in do not allow her to enroll in it. because of the prerequisites. It's like saying that she didn't do any of the prerequisites to enroll into classes. I'm like, okay, well, fuck, I don't know. Well, let me see what it says. And so it says like you're supposed to get a C or higher in the class before in order to enroll in. I'm like, okay, what grade did you get in the class before? She shows me it's a C, and I'm like, okay. And then so I think the issue might be that since she also sent in her transcript like a few months late, so that might be an issue, depending, like, might mess up the system in enrolling her classes. But I'm pretty sure there's something like, if you it says C, but if you score like a 30 or like a 73% or less, then I think you fail and doesn't count as the prerequisite. So I'm not sure if she failed her class in quotations. Yeah, so I'm like, oh my god, why does everything have to be so difficult with you? Like, all she really had to do was just pull up the goddamn sheet that the counselor gave her, look at it, and be like, okay, see, look, there it is, spring 2022, a course planner, boom, it's right there in front of your face. Freaking Amazon Prime free trial, it's right in front of your face. They literally give you like emails over and over again. Look, free deals, 50% off on these things. 2-week free trial. You get things delivered 2 days.
Free trial?
2 days at least.
Oh, all right, I didn't get it.
And then I have to deal with that. I went to the DMV, and that shit takes forever too.
DMV was like, hey, you want a free trial?
No, the DMV took the DMV took less time than freaking helping you out picking parts and her out with the classes. Because at least I booked an appointment for the DMV. I walked in, didn't even take 10 minutes. I finished all my shit and I walked out. And I'm like, thank God. If only everyone else in my life was so efficient.
You finished it the first time.
If everything wasn't so infuriating.
You finished your writing test on the first go.
I did. Yes.
What the fuck?
Because I'm a fucking genius, dude.
My problem is
so much of an asshole I sound like when I say that.
I failed on like one question off.
Oh, did you? So you're like one question failed, like away from passing? Damn,
that was one question on the written. That was the written exam, and then on like the driving one, this person decided to step off of like the crosswalk. It just kind of walked in the bike lane for like a minute, and I'm like, the light's green. It's been green. I need to go. And like, that's what I'm saying in my head. So I go. And then the guy steps on the fucking sidewalk. And it's like, God damn it. You could have just done that sooner.
Oh, what the fuck?
Like, I hate when they do this, that they walk out of the crosswalk and they kind of walk at like an angle. Because like, oh no, it's nicer. It's like, no. It's literally
it's like a shorter line toward the sidewalk.
No. It really isn't though. And it's also like, I can't go because it's technically illegal.
I love doing that because I like to fuck over drivers. Because I have this deep hatred of cars. I've been in 3 car crashes.
I got docked a point because, not a point, but like a couple points because I didn't use my blinker when parallel parking, which is no longer even a thing in the physical exam.
They don't have that I don't think they have that in the driving test anymore. Parallel parking.
I feel like an old man when I'm like,
I'm pretty sure you never need to parallel park.
I have parallel park constantly.
Well, it's different because you live in like freaking redneck ghetto town. So
I live like just down the street from you.
I
literally live down the street from you. It'll take me like all of 2 minutes to drive to you.
Sorry, I can't speak boomer, so I don't know what you're saying, sussy. I don't know what you're saying, dude. You're talking moon speak right now.
My face is all red right now.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah. Red for a different reason.
You live in redneck bumfuck town.
You live in the bumfuck middle of nowhere. I don't know where you live.
Just down the street from you.
JD, I live right down the street from you.
Literally, you know that church?
Yes.
Like the giant church next to
Yes, I know the street name. The big street, wide street that
just
flows like right down the freaking middle of the road.
Down the street from that church.
Like when I gave you my address, you were like, "Huh, he's just right up there."
Back in high school, when you gave me your address, I'm like, "You're right here." I Oh, sorry. I think I actually figured that out when I drove past you. When I used to, when I got my car and I no longer had to go on the bus,
yeah.
I'd drive past.
I
I just
think
kind
I
of
remember it. Yeah.
every now and then I just kind of look over like this whole drive. I'd just be like, as I drove past, because I'm like, wait, was that JD?
Whoa, was that JD? Or was that just some other random Asian kid? That's gotta
Was
be
that some
JD.
other
That guy was like
Asian
8'7".
cut in glasses?
The guy was like 8'7", 300 pounds, 7% body fat. It's gotta be JD.
And I used to think maybe I should stop and ask him if he wants to ride to school. Like, no, we're not that close.
Nah,
like,
fuck that guy.
We're friends, but I think he'll find it weird if I ask.
Nah, fuck that guy. No, it's fine. I took the bus to school anyway. I fucking fly to school.
Like a nerd.
I just mark racing my shit over to school, you know what I'm saying? I just fly over to school, you know? Maybe I'll take a trip in the upper atmosphere, burn off my clothes. I always wear my suit underneath though. 'Cause that's what heroes do. Don't wear the cape. That's an insult.
Fuck, what were we talking about?
I was going on a rant about how everyone around me are idiots. And then I said I passed my written exam in the first try. And I thought it was pretty easy. I think I lucked out, honestly. I got a really easy test. I know they're randomized, so yeah.
Franklin actually is taking his driving exam right now because he hasn't had a license in like the past 5 years.
He's been driving without a license, or he hasn't been driving? Or are you not allowed to say?
Legal reasons I'm not allowed to say.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Legally, no comment. And how did he do? Or is he doing it right now?
He didn't even get to start because they found a little nail embedded in the tire of his truck.
Okay.
And it was such a small nail that it hadn't even punctured the tire.
Oh.
Like there was no air leaking from it, but because it was enough of because it was in the tire,
it was like a tack or something?
Yeah. And because it's enough of a nail, it qualifies as like a immediate disqualification
of the driving test or the
driving test. So he just immediately failed on the spot.
Oh. So it was this nail small enough that it didn't puncture the tire, but big enough to notice it when they walked in. Did they do an inspection of the car?
Tires, yeah. And truck tires are like big and everything, so like a nail is big is like nothing to it.
Oh, I see.
And he just got immediately failed.
Cool.
And I'm just like,
it's like you do all your shit, wait in line for 2 hours, finally get to the starting line, and you fail.
He left work early to do it.
You didn't even step into the car, and you failed.
And he was like, I should have done an inspection of the truck beforehand.
I didn't know they did an inspection of the car.
They do an inspection to make sure it's road safe, which is why I have
road ready.
Which, real quick info, he's been trying to get to me to let him use my car, and secretly, it wasn't my intention, but he mentioned you better get this windshield fixed because I have a crack in my windshield. He's like, you better get this fixed so I can do my driving test. Motherfucker, I've been keeping that shit not fixed. I've been letting it get worse just so he can't use my car.
You every night you sneak out to your car, you take a little hammer, just tick tick tick, make the crack a little bigger.
I can literally just say no, which I do. But then it's also like he can try to convince our father to let him do it. And it's like as long as I keep my car,
I see,
not road safe.
Yeah, dude, my written test was super easy. I even remember some of the questions. It was one of the questions was about signs. Funny enough, because I've got a dude sitting. I'm looking at a dude who works on signs.
Specific colors of signs mean.
Yeah, it was which side is the yield side, and it shows me signs and pictures, and one of them is the pedestrian walking sign, and one of them is the X sign, and one of them's a stop sign. It says the word stop on it. And I'm like, what the fuck is this test? How do people fail this? The only hard one was
the one that says go on it.
The only hard one was I remember this one. It was how many inches away should your tire be from the curb when you park, and it gave you a bunch of estimates 6 to 8 inches away, 6 to 12 inches away. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this question?
It's so bullshit, stupid. Because nobody does that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the questions I got wrong. Actually, I got that one right. I got another one wrong.
I was driving my car and my dad was in my passenger seat once, and he's like, you know, you're supposed to be 2 car lengths behind the person in front of you. And I like look at him and I'm just like, I've been in the car when you drive. He's a man who's like, I do not
He's like
do as I say, not as I
you.
do. Well, he's in the second seat.
I guess he's supposed
shotgun.
to when you're in a permit anyway, so.
Yeah, but it's also like I've been driving for like 5 years now. He's just like, he like still stomps his foot on the ground as if I'm like just starting to
like
drive.
a rabbit when they get angry.
Yeah, and it's like his way of telling me to brake, but I'm also like backing out of a parking lot, and it's like there's nothing happening. He just does it because he feels anxious, and it's like he's a real do as I say, not as I do type of guy, because he does not do any of the advice he tells us to do.
Yeah. I have like, I don't know if I told you this, but I have like a irrational fear of driving. Or no, I guess it's not irrational. It's a rational fear of driving. Because it's not like I'm like terrified to the point where I don't even want to be in a car. Because, you know, I was in your car pretty like 3 months ago. But like if I'm in the car with like a bad driver who I know to be a bad driver, or I'm like getting the feeling that the driving's not very good, I start like getting some anxiety.
When I drive.
No, I noticed this because my aunt who came over, one of my aunts who came over from California, I guess she's like sort of more modern than normal because she's just constantly on her phone while she's driving. And I don't know why, but that gave me some hard anxiety. And it also didn't help that my grandmother was in that car, and my grandmother loves to backseat drive. Right. Yeah. And clearly she has no idea they both have no idea what they're talking about. But like my aunt is like getting super angry at my grandma.
What's going on at any point in time?
My aunt's getting super angry at my grandma and trying to like talk to her while driving and on her phone at the same time. And I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna die. This is where I die.
That happened with my family where my sister was picking me and my dad up from the airport because like we had gone up to like go to my aunt's like reception and wedding, and we'd come back and we were getting picked up and driven around, and my sister like picks us up, and her husband are both playing Pokemon Go while they're driving the car. My dad is in the backseat like panicking, and I'm like, don't worry, this happens more often than you think.
Don't worry, I have this at work too.
This was before that, like way before.
Oh,
like back when Pokemon Go had first come out and it was like the biggest craze and everything.
Oh, that's funny. I don't think I've ever played that game.
I know, neither did I. They still play it.
Well, it's because at that point when it first came out, I didn't have data on my phone.
I just
could only use Wi-Fi.
I'm a Digimon guy. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm honest. I'm kind of a Bud guy.
Dude, whenever I say I'm a Digimon guy, people like laugh, but it's like that's not a joke. I like Digimon more than Pokemon. I whenever my friend Abel, who you know from the Unlucky Ones, I've known him since kindergarten, and like I'd go over to his house to play like GameCube all the time.
Yeah, and played Digimon on the GameCube.
There was a Digimon GameCube game, and I loved it. It was awesome, and it's like I didn't have it. And it's like every time I went over, he'd be like, "What game do you want to play?" I'm like, "Digimon." He's like, "Fucking choose something else."
Stupid nerd. Stupid nerd. Why don't you get your own Digimon GameCube?
Dude, I rented the Digimon game from the Blockbuster all the time. I mean, the Digimon movie, like Digimon the movie from the Blockbuster.
What?
All of the time.
What are Blockbusters?
You stop that! I'm not that old. I'm
what are SSD cards, bro?
They exist. I'm not insane.
You are insane, though. If not now, then definitely later at work.
I'm gonna fucking learn the entire history of SD cards and like trivia just so I can just throw them at you every now and then just to fuck with you.
I'd hate that. But anyway, I was talking about my rational fear of driving, right?
Right. Sorry.
And it's a very rational fear. No, we just went off on a tangent, but it was a very rational fear because I've been in like 3 car accidents. All of them were like, they weren't like super horrible, but they were pretty mildly to mild bad. And funny enough, I never gotten injured in any of those, but my sister has gotten pretty injured in one of them. She hit her head pretty hard, and it was hospitalized, but I was fine. And funny enough, I wasn't wearing a seatbelt in one of them, so
oh no,
I was thrown around, but I was fine.
I don't think I've ever gotten into a crash in a car,
Oh,
but
I've been in some bad ones.
I've been in the point of falling out of a car backwards, almost going under a tire once.
What the?
It was a situation where for some reason the door was unlocked and it wasn't closed all the way, so it kind of opened when I leaned against it, and I was still putting my seatbelt on and everything. And so I didn't have anything like to catch me, and so I fell out, and I'm like holding onto the seat, holding onto the door, while hanging out backwards out of the car. And like,
thank God I took those weight training classes.
Driving. And like I was a little kid and stuff, and so it was like it didn't really click to me, but it's like that should have been one of the most terrifying moments. It's that and falling off a cliff where it didn't like occur to me at the time till later on in my life where I'm like, I should have
I was
died.
very close to dying.
I fell off this cliff. Oh well.
But yeah, so like when I was in that car with my aunt, I was like, holy crap. I'm kind of anxious because her phone's on her lap. I get why she has her phone out because she's got a GPS, but it's on her lap, so she looks down like away from the road. She's angry because my grandmother's in the car too. She's being backseated. She's trying to yell at my grandmother, who, by the way, is deaf, and she knows that she's deaf, but she's still trying to talk back to my I don't get it. What are these people? They're like Oblivion NPCs. What? No Amazon Prime. Register for classes 2 months late.
No more Fortnite.
Register for classes 2 months late. GPS on your lap. Arguing with a deaf grandmother. Am I the one that's crazy? I can't be, James. There's no way.
This is me at my workplace.
There's no way. But yeah, luckily we didn't crash. So yeah, that was on the way to Excalibur. I think I mentioned that in one of my streams.
Wait, was this the time that you went
This
to
was
Excalibur?
very recent. Yes, this was very recent. It was when I went to Excalibur.
You were just like, well, guess I better make peace with it.
Well, guess I'll die.
Thank my God.
I was like freaking holding on. I was like head back in my seat, holding on, preparing for this crash. Because I'm pretty sure on all the car crashes I've been in, they're all at least 40 miles an hour crash. So not too great. Not too great. Luckily though, I wasn't in one of the car. I'm not gonna lie. All 3 of my car crashes, I think have been my mother driving. And lucky for me, I wasn't in the 4th one that she was in. Yeah, so it just goes to show, it's not a rational fear of driving. It's not a rational fear of driving. It's a completely rational fear. I have a higher chance of dying from a car crash than I do of flying an airplane, so I'm good with that.
JD, easy. That's just because you're in some sort of suicide squad.
And I guess the viewers aren't either. But you should subscribe, like. We do this every Sunday, and maybe you can join the Suicide Squad. Pay a visit to James at his workplace, cheer him up a bit, walk in, tell him, hey, fuck you, Blake, and then
please do.
And then yeah, and you can check James out at the Twitch I shouted out a bit earlier, but
G Savior.
Oh yeah, you can go watch it. You can go watch the G Savior live commentary track that we did. It's hilarious. Really good. It's hilarious. It's on James's channel, which is linked in the description.
I genuinely rewatched it in full for the first time with JD on stream. Like he was watching it, and I was watching along in chat. And
better than I remember.
It was also great to see his reactions to stuff he didn't see because he walked out of the room.
There were 2 points in the movie which I walked out, but they were only for like a minute long, and I missed some good shit in 1 minute I was gone.
I wish you could be in the room for that one reveal. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Back up. They never make mention of this.
Because when I left, your full attention was back in on the movie, and you're like, "What the fuck is happening?"
I had at one point I would just go like, "I have ultimate power. What's happening?"
I have all the power. What the fuck?
I'd be holding both microphones next to each other. I'm like,
yeah,
I have ultimate power.
If you're interested in watching a movie about representation, head on over to James' channel. It's in the description.
Get ready for the next movie about representation. Fantastic Four, the original.
Gotta be a lot of representation now, right?
Oh boy.
What's the Fantastic Four theme? Bye.